Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I realise I haven't been doing some Warcry videos this week. It's because, we looked through the rulebook and we're done, right? But today we have the leaks of the faction cards and I'm really excited. So we have the Daughters of Khaine, we have the Ironjawz, we have the Flesh Eater Courts, and we have the Nighthaunts. Very exciting. So I'm going to go through these. Ironjawz first because I'm really excited for the Ironjawz. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna do one, but I haven't looked at these cards yet. I'm seeing them with you for the first time. So let's take a look. So we've got over here on the right, these are our Ard boys. That's what they're called. 110 points. That's a very reasonable stat. Points cost. Can't argue with that, I suppose. 125 for the shield, which isn't giving him an extra point of. Oh yeah, it is. It's giving him an extra point of toughness. Sorry, I was looking at the number of attacks because that's a fist. Don't know what I was thinking there. So we've got this guy here doing 1-4. This guy here doing 2-4. Just a very quick note as I pull back from the stats here. It's I would quite like it if they gave us the name. I know that they're trying to do everything with symbols, but I'd really like it if they just said, this is an Ard boy with Chopper and Smasher. Just so I know what to call it. I can't say to somebody across from me, oh, this model here with the thing, there's this symbol. Anyway, I know what they're trying to do. Just saying. So all of the Ard boys here have a mere 1-inch range. In fact, everything here has 1-inch range. That's fair enough. Okay, so let's power through. These two have no symbols, so they could only use charge, which is a fighter can use this ability only if there is a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches. Wait, we've already read this. We already know charge. We do, however, have Rampaging Destroyer as a new ability we haven't been able to read yet. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add 1 to the attack's characteristics of attack actions made by this fighter. In addition, each time an enemy fighter is taken down by an attack action made by this fighter, this fighter can make a bonus move action. That's quite fun. I also like, coming over from Kill Team, how damn precise that wording is. I know exactly what it does. There's no questions about, oh, is it a single attack added to a single action, or is it, yeah, nailed it, guys. Well done. Okay. The Ard boys aren't really jumping out at me as being particularly awesome, but I guess, this game, as people are kind of talking about now, as people are getting demo games in and just playing the game normally, this game is very you need model count, just like in Kill Team. Hordes dominate. That's what people seem to be saying so far. So I think we are all waiting for Gloomspite Gitz probably going to be the best faction, just because you'll probably get like 30-point models or something crazy. Okay. We'll go over the leaders in a mo. Up here. Again, I don't know. I want to say, ah, yes, the brute with 2 big smashers or something, but I don't know what they're called, and it's not telling me. 25 HP for 180 points. Nice stuff. Again, everything here is 3-inch move. Everything here is T5. Oh, apart from the Ard boys, sorry. I mean the brutes. Oh, this guy is a leader. This is an Ard boy, isn't it? This is an Ard boy. Yes. Okay. So, I love the brute models. I think they look amazing. And look, they're 25 points, 35 points. Really cool. Quite interestingly, and I don't know what this means at all because I don't play Age of Sigmar, but they have the ability, they have 3 possible leader models. And I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, for 255 points, 6 attacks, 3-6, this guy's a beast. I can very much see a list being him and then filling up the rest of your roster with all of these cheap guys. I think one thing the Warcry might do, unlike Kill Team, is because having a leader on the board doesn't give you a CP or anything. There's no inherent value to keeping them safe. And in fact, well, yeah, in a campaign they can die, obviously, but everything seems to die in this game. So you actually do want, I feel, I assume, you actually do want your leader to be the toughest model on the board, and you do want to do things with him. And this is one hell of a leader. 255 points, 35 wounds. He's strength 6. Sorry, strength 6. So far, as far as we have seen, he's wounding everything in the game on a 3. He's a beast. But then he's 3 attacks, 3/6. I haven't run the stats, but it's quite possible that 4 attacks, 2/5 might be stronger. I don't know. I don't know. We've got this guy over here who is the same as this guy, but he's not a leader. But otherwise, and he has 10 points wounds less. But otherwise, he's identical actually. And we've got this guy. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We haven't read the Grab and Bash. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a dice on a 3 up until the end of the battle round. The fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Keep him stuck in. And on a 6, you can make another attack. Very nice. Oh, and what's War? Let's have a read. Add the value of this ability to the move characteristic of friendly fighters within 6 inches of the fighter when this fighter uses this ability to the end of the battle round. That's very nice. So obviously, with all of your guys being 3-inch move, that triple war might. I think that's probably going to be your go-to. Like, you need to get people to places. That's how you do it. Obviously, the chances of you getting a war when you need it, who knows. But, okay. Let's check out. Should we do Daughters of Khaine? No, let's do Flesh Eater Courts. Let's do Flesh Eater Courts. Because this model here, 300 points, they have said is the strongest model in the game. So let's take a read of that one last. So, the regular guy over here, 55 points. Okay. Now, I believe we have seen a 55-point model already, so it's not too crazy though. From the Untamed Beasts, they have a 55-point model. Unfortunately, I don't know what that model's stats are, so I can't compare this. But I do recall it having 8 wounds. Yeah. So this might actually be an identical data card, which would be very interesting if that is the case. Because one of the big things that Warcry did was because they've scaled to 1,000 points and the potential to have, as we see here, 40 wounds. There's so much variance. You can have completely different stats, but it seems like because they're still going for these, 1 inch, 3 attacks, 3 strength, they're still limiting themselves to basically a D6 for this stat line here. It seems like they've kind of they've put the variance into the move, the wounds, and the points. Everything else looks like it's going to be relatively samey, but only in the same way that stats in 40k or Kill Team etc. are samey as well. You could run this little guy as your leader. That would be fun, I suppose. If you just want to do a horde, 125-point leader, and then just spam 55-point models, that's going to be a tough team. Although interestingly, we can still assume that this model for 55 points with 8 wounds is stronger than a gobbo. Are they called gobbos still? They're grots, no? Gits. I don't know. Goblins. Maybe a goblin's going to be like 40 points with 5 wounds. And maybe, I'm going to guess, 2 toughness. That's my official guess. And it's going to do like a 1-2 instead of a 1-3. There you go. There you go. That's my official guess. I don't know why. I'm guessing. Right. These guys are... Oh, I can't remember any of the names. Because they don't tell us, which is brilliant. I'm actually very frustrated by that. But anyway, let's take a look at this guy. So another quick note, of course, is that if you buy the Flesh-Eater Courts starter box, you get everything. You get 10 of these guys. One, of course, can be your leader, and then 9 of these. And you get 3 of these models, which could be dual built into any of these variants. So the cheapest one here is 190. Let's look at him first and build our way up. So we've got a 1, 4, 4, 2, 4. So obviously 30 points, move 6, pretty nice. He's no slouch. He's no slouch. 4 attacks, strength 4, doing a 2-4. I think that's actually... Oh, he's not a leader. Okay, so he's just an elite guy you can bring. Fair enough. And let's see what his special will allow you to do. Chosen of the King. I'm pretty sure we've read this already, but I don't remember it. So, a fighter can use this ability only if they are within 6 inches of a visible friendly fighter with the leader rune mark. Till the end of this fighter's activation, add 2 to the attack characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter that have a range characteristic of 3 or less. Okay, so you'd add 2 to the attack characteristic. This being the attack characteristic, or this being the... I'm pretty sure that's damage, so you would roll 6 attacks instead of 4, I believe. As you can tell, I've been back in Kill Team for a week. I haven't... it all fizzles away. I was going to try a Rutger Hauer quote there, but I forgot what it is. Anyway. So, okay. We then go to the 235 version. Okay, so he's got fly, and he's got whatever that means. So, interestingly, the fly rune here isn't giving him access to any abilities. It's just giving him the fact that he has fly. However, this thing here... Oh, also a quick note. This little useless guy here, no runes. So if you did do that spam army, your abilities are almost useless. So what does this give you access to? Skewering Strike. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of the next attack action made by this fighter. This activation that has a range characteristic of 3 or less. Why does it keep saying 3 or less? All of the attacks are 1. It sounds to me like they're going to be releasing ranged models for this faction. Who knows? 3 or less. In addition, if that attack action scores a critical hit until the end of the battle round, the target fighter cannot make move actions or disengage actions. Okay, cool. It also gives you Death Scream. Roll 1 dice for each visible enemy fighter within 8 inches of this fighter. On a 5, allocate 1 damage point to the fighter being rolled for. On a 6, allocate a number of damage points to the fighter being rolled for equal to the value of this ability. Okay. A single damage on a 5. That doesn't sound great. I'm going to be honest. It's competing with the Bringer of Death, which can be used by the leader? Is that a leader? Yes. So the leader could use for a triple Bringer of Death. Add the value of this ability to the move characteristic of friendly fighters within 6 inches of the fighter when this fighter uses this ability until the end of the battle round. Okay. Not so much needed if you're using these guys with their 10-inch move. But perhaps if you're running one of the leaders alongside a small swarm of ghouls, could be useful. But I don't know. I feel like their trips here aren't very interesting. Chosen of the King seemed nice. Anyway, let's read the Royal Hunt. Maybe that will change everything. This fighter makes a bonus move action. Then they can make a bonus attack action. In addition, add 1 to the attack characteristic of that attack action. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it is seeming like the quad for most factions is they can move and attack. Again. Yeah, a bonus move, bonus attack action. It's like, okay. Don't get me wrong, that's obviously statistically very good. But it's the same for all of them. It's getting a bit boring. If I'm honest. Okay, let's go to our first leader model. So 40 wounds is obviously pretty sexy. 6 move, only 4 toughness, but then all of these big boys are. 255 points. So he is the same as this guy right here. 255 points. This guy gets 35 health, toughness 5, 3 move, 6 move, 40 wounds, 35 wounds. And then what's he doing? So he's getting 3 attacks, strength 6, 3, 6. 5 attacks, strength 4, 2, 5. I've got to say I'm leaning towards this guy just because I get to roll 5 dice. And that just means you're going to get a more consistent amount of damage through. Definitely. I think this guy's just stronger. Okay. Anyway, our final guy, our big boy here. 40 wounds again, but he's now movement 10, which is huge, obviously. And then your 5 attacks, 4, 2, so you're the same attack as that. Huh. So this was one of the factions I was pretty excited by. Certainly I was very interested in this guy being the strongest model in the game. And I agree, 5 attacks, doing 2, 5, 40 wounds. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? But comparing him for 300 points to this guy, I realize this guy isn't a leader, but oh yeah, he is. Sorry, I'm stupid. Okay, I realize that 3-inch move isn't a great thing, but if you assume you're always going to be using a triple for war, maybe and a double for charge, you're gonna speed him up. You're gonna get him into combat, I would assume. And don't forget you can move twice, so it's a 6-inch move. So far, between these two, both of which are factions I was considering playing, I'm thinking Ironjawz. Flesh Eater Courts have not impressed me. Let's check out Nighthaunt. Now, Nighthaunt weren't one that I was initially interested in. Let's take a look. Okay, so our little Chain Rasp boys. Oh, they're doing a 1-2. Oh, for 80 points. Ooh. Okay. First thing to note, they all have fly. So that is, that is obviously a boon to their movement, but they are only a 5 move. 3 attacks, strength 3, 1, 2, 8 hit points, 80 points. And unfortunately, we've only got at the bottom of the card here. So what can this guy do? This thing here, Chilling Horde. Can't quite make it out. Oh, so this marks him as a minion. Okay. There's a visible friendly model with the minion rune mark within 3 of them. Add 1 to the attack characteristics of actions made by the fighter until the end of that activation. Okay, so I assume that's giving you an extra attack. Well, 4 attacks on an 80-point model is nice, I guess. But me personally, I'm not that big a fan of playing hordes. I like elite teams. So let's keep going. Okay, well let's just do this guy. I believe this is a Grimghast Reaper. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I don't know what's what. I don't know what's what. So range 2 now. As we all know, a range 2 is very, very powerful because range 2 means that you can remain more than 1 inch away from the enemy and attack. What that means is you haven't given the enemy an advantage by attacking them first, because of course, normally if you move, then attack, you're getting a single attack. But then your enemy will be able to use 2 of their actions as attacks, attacking you twice. So it's actually quite a big negative to be the first one to charge almost. Obviously, a 2-inch weapon against the majority of enemies, which only have a 1-inch weapon, will have to move 1 inch to engage you and then attack. So they're only getting a single attack. So 2-inch weapons are inherently very strong. 6-inch move, cool. 10 wounds. 5, 2, 3, 1, 4. So this is obviously huge variance. 1 to 4 for the crit there. You're rolling 3 dice. I think what will be quite interesting actually is tallying up the averages for the average damages, including crits for each model, and that is something I'm definitely going to do some videos on once I've decided which my armies are, and once I've seen, yeah, because it's quite deceptive sometimes to see, oh, well, this guy has 3 attacks, doing 1 damage, but then 4 on the crit, whereas this guy gets 2 attacks, but he's doing 3 damage, but then 6 on the crit, or something like that. And it's like, oh, well, which one's actually stronger? So I'll definitely do some videos tallying that kind of math hammer stuff up, because I think that it's not that I'm this huge math hammer dude. It's just I like to know what they're actually doing. That's all. Anyway, in MMOs, I don't look at the number of damage and the swings per second. I just look at the DPS, which averages it out for me. That's maybe why I was a bad player. Anyway, we got this guy. I'm gonna be honest, guys. These guys are just all looking kind of the same. Like, okay, he's got fly, so he's a leader model. These two in the middle are the leaders. I guess that's cool. So it will let you do a spectral summon. Pick a friendly fighter that has been taken down and set it up back on the battlefield within 3 inches of this leader. That's the fighter. That's cool. Okay, that is strong for a triple. Just put a downed model back on the board. Damn. Okay, well, crap. Recursion mechanics, always fun. I like it. Then we've got this guy. He's a leader again. I don't have much more to say about that. I'm going to speed through this because this guy's also boring for me. Then we get the Spirit Host. So obviously this is the big one. 220 points. 6 attacks. Doing a 1-4. Ooh, I like that. Now it's only a strength 3, but then they're all strength 3. 30 points. I like the Spirit Host, actually. That's interesting to me. So again, this is just me showing my natural bias towards elite models. I like, 6 attacks. That instantly excites me, even if it might not actually be as effective, point per model as the Chain Rasp. Cool. Okay. I've got to be honest, they didn't really jump out at me, but these daughters might. Let's take a look. So, I'm not sure if there are duplicates here, or do they just get a buttload of cards? I think they do. Okay. So these are our cheapest models on the left here. Okay. Oh, exciting. So these are ones I was tempted by, but I didn't dive in. But let's take a look. So our cheapest model is 65 points. Damn. So instantly, that's a good price point. It's a good price point. So it's very similar to the 55-point models. Let's take a look. So I think they're getting 1 extra attack dice because they're 4 attacks, 1-3. If you go over to this guy, he's 3 attacks, 1-3. 5-3-8. 5-3-8. Okay. So basically you're paying 10 points for 1 attack. Now that is actually quite interesting because the game designers have pointed out that they do just, or I'm sure there's hand tweaking, but they have just put the stat line into a spreadsheet and it spits out a number at the end, and that's how they are pointing models. Again, I am sure that they weight things at the end, but that means we know that 1 attack dice is 10 points. That's very useful. It's very useful to know for people that want to go about math hammering stuff. However, we then get the person above them for an extra 10 points, so 75 points, who is an identical model, but only gets 3 attacks. What? I feel that has to be a misprint. Okay, am I missing something? Oh, they have 1 extra toughness. Boom! 1 extra toughness is 10 points. No, it's not. It must be 20. Because if we decided that 1 attack is 10 points, they lose the attack, so that's minus 10 points, which would make her 55 points. But actually, She's costing 10 more, so therefore 1 toughness must be 20 points. Doing the hard work for you guys. Okay, and then 175, or I think it's 115 actually. So we get a 5, 16, 3. Cool, a 4, 3, 1, 4. Nice. Yep. I don't have much to say about that. That's your cheap leader. Now let's go over to here, a 75-point model. Oh wow, all of these guys are 2-inch range. Oh, okay. Very interesting. So, much like here, this one is 65, this one is 75. They both have the same core stats at the top there. They both have the same strength and the same attacks. However, this one is hitting at 1-4 instead of 1-3 and gets an extra inch on their weapon, which I'm pretty sure completely messes up our scheme there of trying to tally up how much things should cost, because there's no way an extra damage on the crit and an extra inch on the weapon should only be an extra 10 points, because that would mean they're 5 points each. The reason I point all of this out is because we might like to have some fun home brewing rules, and if you can figure out how stats are weighted, you can legitimately just make it and say, okay, well, I know that, so now we know 1 attack costs 10 points, 1 inch on the weapon is 5, 1 inch on or 1 extra damage on the crit is 5. Again, I assume these have been weighted in some way that is not instantly recognizable. Yep, cool. It's all good. I'm liking their 2-inch damage stuff. But so these three here and these three here are essentially the same thing, except they're the same core stats. As in, yeah, you get it. You get it. Okay. So over here we have our Medusae people. Or do we want to do the Kinerai first? No, we do the Medusas. So our cheapest Medusas are the Heart Renders. I remembered their names, I think. So they're the guys that can shoot. Nice. So they have a 3 to 20 inch on the bow. Very cool. Very cool. 20-inch range. That's big. That is a bit big. 165 points. I believe that's the same points cost as one of the Stormcast Vanguard Hunters. And their bow was doing 1-5. Okay. Okay. Okay, only 2 attack dice though. See, it's fishing for crits with only 2 dice is painful. Yeah. I don't know if I'm happy with that. Alternatively, you can get, for the same points cost, 165. Identical stat wheel of 20 wounds, toughness 4, 7-inch move. You get a 2-inch weapon, again, very good. 5 attack dice, doing a 1-4. 5 attack dice, I'm there. Sign me up for that, is all I can say. Very nice. And then our leader models from that are, so the leader here, if we look at this stat line up here, you're getting 1 extra attack dice and 1 extra damage on your normal damage, not on your crit. And that's it. Their melee is exactly the same. You're also getting 10 extra wounds. Cool. Cool. And then our melee fighter is exactly the same in difference. Oh no, you get an extra strength as well. So you're still getting 10 extra wounds. You're going up again, so you get an extra damage on the normal damage. So it's a 2 instead of a 1. But you're also getting +1 extra toughness, strength. Sorry, +1 extra strength, and +1 extra attack. So that's a very strong model right there. I like it. Okay, let's go over to the Kinerai. Ooh, let's check this one because this is an interesting one. Because 175 points, you've only got 10 wounds. That's tough. That is tough. Like, okay, so you're a 12-inch move. You're a T4, 10 wounds. Obviously, you're flying at this point. Oh, okay. 8-inch range. 8-inch range. 2 attack dice. Strength 4, 1 4. So, because I don't fully know. So, okay. This model would be super, super strong against certain factions. For example, Ironjawz. Because you can be 8 inches away and they can't double move to get you. However, no, 18. I mean, some factions you're going to be within 8, and they're just going to move into you and kill you in one hit. Like 10 wounds is not a lot, so that's actually very scary, I would say. And then the hero of this follows a very similar pattern to what the Medusa followed. So 10 extra wounds, 1 extra attack dice, 1 extra damage on the base damage, not the crit. Anything else? No. Okay, cool. We're going to read the abilities in a moment. Don't worry. Don't fret. And then we get over to these guys. Are they... How are these different? Okay, so 10 points cheaper here. Let's, let's keep this one here. So, oh, okay, so you're not getting the 8-inch range. Those guys are like throwing harpoons. You have to get up close and dirty. Still with only 10 wounds. That's proper glass cannon stuff, isn't it? But I don't... With only strength 3 and doing 1 damage on the base hit, without having read the abilities yet, that's crazy. Like, that seems like such a waste. Like, it's just gonna die. Don't get me wrong, 12-inch move is huge, obviously, and you can fly, so you don't care about terrain. And maybe you take like 1 to go sit on an objective, but I don't know about that. And then again, the leader is exactly the same stats wise. You get +1 attack, you get +1 to the base damage, and you get +10 wounds. Let's take a look to see if their abilities make everything make sense. So, Bathe in Blood. I believe we have read the first 3 of these already, though. So, I'm going to start with Heartseekers. The trips. Start with the trips. If the next attack action made by this fighter, this activation scores 1 or more critical hits, and the target fighter is more than 3 inches away, allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. Okay. Fair enough. Triple. Anyone can use this. There's no rune mark requirement. Slaughter strength. Until the end of this fighter's activation, add the value of this ability to the strength characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter that have a range characteristic of 3 or less. Okay. So you need it because all of your guys are strength 3, but you don't want to use a triple on that, do you? Ah, that's tough. That's tough. Sacrifice to Khaine. Khaine. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them. This activation. Until the end of the battle round, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of attack actions that have a range characteristic of 3 or less made by visible friendly fighter. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry, I should actually finish that sentence because it does change things. Or less made by visible friendly fighters that while they are within 6 inches of this fighter. Okay, so everyone gets +1 attack dice when they attack if they are within 6 of whoever made that kill. That's nice. Obviously, if you got all your guys clumped up, go for it. And then finally, Death on the Wind. Now, this requires what these two. The 2 flying guys with the harpoons are the only ones that can do this. Oh no, sorry. All of the Kinnerai can do this. All of the Kinnerai. This fighter makes a bonus move action, which is 12 inches. That's a huge bonus move action. Then they can make a bonus attack action. Okay, so again, everybody gets this as their quad. It's very boring. Don't get me wrong, it's really good, but it's very boring. In addition, this is the slight twist. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack action if the fighter finished the move within 6 inches or more from their starting position. Okay. Okay. So, obviously that's very strong, and putting these guys up to strength 4, I'm sure is very, very good. That was a really interesting read for me. As I've just told you earlier, I'm very much about the elite teams. The elites here didn't interest me. The weak guys here interested me, and I was hoping interesting things were going to happen, but they didn't. The interesting things happened with these guys, the big guys, which makes sense, obviously. But wow, what a confusing time for everyone to be alive. I think out of these four factions, the Ironjawz interested me the most. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Hopefully, we're going to get more of these very, very soon. Probably tomorrow, if I had to guess. More leaks, and I'll try and do a video then as well. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've enjoyed. What do you think of these leaks, guys? Were you hoping, like me, to be interested in any of these factions, but now you've seen them and you're not? Or you weren't interested before, that's my dinner. Or you weren't interested before, but now you've seen one of them, you're like, oh yeah, I've got to get this one. I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you've had a great day and continue to have a great day. Else I've dead saying goodbye.